welcome back to No Limits Game, the channel. I don't really have an intro yet. This is only my second video where I'm actually even talking. But today I want to make a rather simple creation. I just want to create kind of, if you don't know, somehow if you don't know about the RC cars, that kind of just like, you can drive them around and they can flip and still work. Today I kind of want to make something similar to that in trailmakers. Also, this default color isn't final. I'm still waiting for more votes on my post, so if you haven't voted yet, go ahead and vote if possible. Anyways, so let's get into it. Okay, so what I'm kind of thinking is I have a thin car, and then I have the wheels like kind of inside it, like kind of like, instead of having like a designated spot, like they're kind of inside, like wheels right here or something. I think that would be actually pretty cool looking as well. Now the only problem is I feel like these wheels would probably be best for something like this. But as you can see, they're quite large, so I may end up actually using the truck wheel, which is kind of when it comes to overall stability and stuff, but considering I'm building this as just kind of something cool build, you know, one of those things you just create for the fun of it. Well, it's kind of trailmakers as a whole, but kind of figured I'd make this. It's kind of it's not really meant to be an off-roading vehicle, even though it makes sense though. Oh wait, we need turns, so I'm gonna just do that. We'll flip it first. Actually, these are not going the right way, so let's just flip that. Alrighty, let's do this. If I need to, I can also make these turn. But let's see. I would like to have suspension. In any way I can put that on, that would be great. Let me just put that to there. What am I doing? Why did I connect those? Okay. Just put that there, I guess. And then let's grab a hinge, a large hinge, probably. Fill in this little gap. And now we got a turning mechanism. Crap. I still need engines, which this space right here would do great for some engines, I feel like. So let's just, I want to limit vision in case I do end up deciding I want to do, you know, the first person in this. So I'm going to try and keep these low, but if I really need them, I'll just put them up higher, I guess. And then we can just fill in this space. Let's see. Probably something. Hey, that works. That works perfectly, actually. Kind of gives it more of a robust kind of build, I guess, if you want to call it that. Let's see. Now we gotta connect this to here. Okay, there we go. And since it's not really, since we haven't added turning to it, and I don't plan on doing that, if possible, well, I'm gonna just connect it like that. It looks kind of cool. You know what, I actually would like to connect to these, if possible, maybe? There we go. Now let's just copy this to the other side, so both sides are like kind of like this. This is already looking kind of cool, actually. I didn't plan on making it actually look like a car, just something that can flip over and still work. Okay, we may have a little too much speed. We don't have enough traction, I think, is a real problem. We got a decent base so far. I don't exactly know how I'm going to make the flipping work, unless I just reverse the controls. That'd be boring and would be good content. So I'm gonna try and do something. But for now, let's just work on trying to get the stability. Well, actually, I mean as in not flipping over. Or no, I want to flip over technically. But let's see. Let's just delete some of these and fill it in with these. There we go. Sorry, personally I'm more for the function when it comes to trailmakers. So there we go. Let's see how this works. Oh, much better. Sometimes it's just you have too much speed. That's the only problem you have. Sometimes it's not even just the wheels or how you have it set up. It's just the speed. It's always the best option to go to first. Alright. So now I guess we can start on the whole mechanism that's going to make it work like it's supposed to work. Okay, so first things first, one thing we're already thinking of is having distance sensors like in these little spots here. So potentially like when we flip, they'll detect the ground. And maybe I can make some kind of thing. I'm not good with logic. I just want to say that real quick. Alright. Anyways, so whenever they detect, we'll just say like a distance. We'll just keep it as 1 for now. We'll, kind of optimize it and stuff. So what I'm thinking is when you turn upside down, the distance sensor see the ground, and then we find some way to make them like reverse the wheel. Well, trailmakers physics at its finest. Anyways, as I was saying, what I was thinking is when the distance sensors detect the ground when we turn upside down. Dang, I was gonna go back for first plan. Anyways, so when it does that, I plan on having some more logic gates that'll make, when we flip, it'll make the, what's it called, wheels kind of reverse in a way. I may have an idea on how to do that. I have a very low knowledge. What? I don't have much knowledge when it comes to, logic and all that, when it comes to trailmakers anyway. So please forgive me if I make some disgusting mistakes. Because right now, I could just, in the video, well, guys, thanks for watching. It works while it flips. So, wait, is it actually? Huh. So, interesting. I'm pressing W. I'm not pressing S right now. I didn't take into account that when it flips, the wheels also flip. So that also means, see, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, I guess it does actually. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I kind of planned on more, so the only thing is the turning. So you know what? Just for the content, I'll make a different turning system for it. So how do I do this? Tell me. Tell me, how do I do this? Yeah, I'm just kidding. Anyways, so whenever it flips and these distance sensors, I don't know why I'm not talking right, touch or kind of see the ground, I want to make it switch from this turning system to this one. So for that, I'm going to need an OR logic gate. I understand basic logic, like the OR gate allows you to have a different input for the same block, or it kind of makes sense with the name. So I want these to be that. Or this. Okay, hold on, I need to get rid of these controls here. Then I need to go to this logic gate, and make it A and D. Is that right? Yep, I believe so. Yep. And then these distance sensors are going to both go into that, so if they detect that we're upside down. I could have swore I removed those controls. And I did. That's because of this. Interesting. So this needs to not be connected there, I think. Okay. Like I said, I'm not. So that fixed our turning. And I don't know if that fixed it, but now, so when the distance sensors detect the ground, if I can flip myself over, there we go, it kind of works. Now I just need to be manual. That did that by itself. So now these don't need to, what? Okay, these don't need to control this. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Oh, crap. I didn't think about that actually, because if these are going into a hinge, or going into this, which is connected to, or if these are connected, you get the point. So let's see. How do I do this? You know what? I might be able to use angle sensors actually. So, yeah, let's do that. Let's do angle sensors. Let's just do something like this, I guess. Yeah, that should be perfect. Okay, let's do that instead of distance sensors. They'll actually probably be a little more reliable anyway, because let's say we're upside down and we go on we go kind of on like a thing that's got like a crack or something in it, like a track that's got like a small crack in it, they won't detect that crack. So now these, okay, now I actually don't understand exactly what's going on. Should also, actually, I probably should lower those to less than just halfway, because halfway, that'll change our turning anytime we go on a 90-degree angle, or we do that. So, yeah. So let's change these from that to somewhere like that, I think would be good. Now I just gotta figure out how the heck I do this. So, let's move that to that, I guess. But then we make it active. Okay. I'm going to experiment. I don't think we need any of those. It's a good circle. I imagine it does the opposite, potentially, or does something with negative. Okay, so it's still not doing anything. But what if we put this into this and disconnect this from this and then connect this to this and then get rid of these controls and then add these? It is a really good idea. It work. Okay. I'm beginning creating. Right. So I could probably just end it here. Nobody will care. But at the same time, I want to have content. But at the same time, I have a lot more content once I become, or like start doing it. So I could just make this the timing system and try and, you know, I also don't want this video to be too long, so, hey, that's another thing. So what if we just change this to longer? There we go. Turns just fine. Drifts, actually. Oversteers a good bit. But it's pretty easy with what we're doing, I'd say. Now if we flip ourselves over now, it works pretty much fine. I mean, it's backwards, kind of, but I mean, it works. It's kind of how the cars work anyway. So what I could potentially do is move these out like this, just so I have something that's unique about this thing besides just being a cool looking car, I guess. What I can do is potentially, I don't know why I say potentially so much. Also, I just realized I copied the wedge. Okay, so what I could do is I could play servo. So now we're getting logic involved still. So the ability that there's content. Let's just make this a 180, I believe is the right angle. Speed can just stay like that, I think. And then we need to remove the controls, just like that. And then what we can do then is that we could make it where, how we connect this. Didn't completely think this through, huh? So, actually, you know what I could do? Little trick I got. You just get a useless piece of logic or something, and see the screen side doesn't connect. So if you just do that, it's not technically connected to the seating. So that works. Okay. So now we're going to need a distance sensor, just because it's smaller and easier to kind of fit into a vehicle and look good. So why is it on? Excuse me. You know what? I don't think it's hurting anything, but just because, we'll just do that. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do, change these. Let's put it to those. So now when those detect anything, so now if they detect anything I said, forgot about those. Also, that is not right. I'm pretty sure we need to do a 90-degree angle. And I didn't think about these not being connected either, so I'm gonna just, yeah, there we go. So, yep, we're good then. Now it should work. Get a drift in there. Yes, sir. This video is probably getting pretty long now. If I had to take a guess, it's at least around 15 minutes, maybe? I don't know, time flies when you're gaming. Alright, let's see it. Yeah, there we go. There we go, and I didn't think how is it doing that like jitter thing? That's my question. Let's do not 1,000. Let's do 100 degrees. And you know what? Actually, probably easier just go under here and have them rotate that potentially. Or not. Or not. Yeah, that works. Let's see. Oh. See, why is it doing that? They shouldn't be being blocked. They shouldn't be blocked or anything by the ground. I don't really understand why they're doing it. Wait a second. So this one's... It doesn't really matter which way it goes. But that's the problem. One's going the opposite way than the other and it's conflicting. Oh. So we'll just go with this one, and we'll just say, you know, it'd probably be, considering we're flipping, the seat probably needs to go that way, just cause, you know. So it needs to be, see what I could do actually. You know what, this probably won't make the most sense. But I'm gonna just make these, like, you know, closer to the center, so it doesn't bug out or anything. It doesn't, like, work not properly. So I'm gonna make this one in positive, and I'm gonna disconnect this. I'm gonna make this one a negative output. So now they should work in conjunction. Who came up with that? Who comes up with words? And who just decides words mean this? You know? I guess it kind of makes sense in a way, because we need a way to, like, you know, communicate. Sorry, I forgot the word, but yeah. Come on. There we go. Okay, now they're just not turning enough. So, I think the 180 degrees was actually right, but it didn't look right at the time. So, let's see. Hello there, chicken. Hello there. Also, if you want something to comment about, but you don't know what to comment, you just give your honest opinion. Do I do a good hello there from a Star Wars impression? I don't know. That's kind of funny. Maybe. I don't know. I'm about tempted to just put a piston that's on like max speed on this thing, just to flip it and test it out. There we go. Okay, now that's actually kind of cool. Not gonna lie, that's cool. Well, video's getting kind of long now, and I would imagine anyway, and I want to be able to post this. So, hope you enjoyed this video. Also, just a thank you for watching. Have a Tic Tac. Here, have it. Have it. I said have it. I said have it.